I am Program Manager here for the Department of Family and Support Services. I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar concerning the Respite RFP. Today's webinar will be recorded, and so you don't have to worry about missing or not being able to go back and hear anything that you may have missed when you're completing your RFPs. Again, you can hold your questions to the end, and we will try to answer them as much as possible. Type them into the box, and we will see them, and we'll answer your questions at the end. So, Chicago Department of Family Support Services is comprised of 8 different divisions. Just a little background information: children's services, youth services, domestic violence, veteran services, workforce services, homeless services, senior services, human services division, which is senior services, which is the division that we are in. The DFS launched a strategic framework in 2016. Our mission is to work with community partners. We connect with Chicago residents, families to resource that build stability, support their well-being, empower them to thrive. Our priorities is to deliver and support high-quality, innovative, and comprehensive services that empower clients to thrive. Collaborate with community partners, sister agencies, public officials on programs and policies that improve Chicagoans' lives and advance systematic change. We want to also inform the public of resources available to them through DFS and community partners, and steward DFS resources responsibly and effectively. Seniors Division, DFS Seniors Division is designated as a AAA area agency or agency for the city of Chicago. In their role, the Senior Services Division advocates, we plan, we coordinate, and we fund services for older adults, especially those in the greatest social and economic need, living alone and those ages 85 and above. Together with our service providers, we provide vital services such as congregate dining programs, home delivery meals, and access to benefits. Senior Service RFP. RFP for Respite is for senior service. The goal of the Title III Caregiver Program is to provide caregivers, specifically family caregivers, with relief from day-to-day tasks and responsibilities, involving and caring for someone with chronic illness, disabilities, short or long-term physical or cognitive challenges, and enable the caregiver to maintain care of the older persons at home for a longer period of time. Our program, we will intend changes to perform evaluations based on percentage of clients receiving adequate respite services, and also agencies are required to report demographics and invoices on a monthly basis. Respite services. Program model we are proposing. Respite services provide caregivers a temporary rest from caregiving, including occasional time away from clients. While the frail and impaired person receives care at home or in a safe environment, many of the caregivers themselves are older individuals with greatest economic and social need who are providing care to frail and functionally impaired elderly persons residing with them. Using respite service support strengthens the ability of the caregiver to continue to provide care at home, may delay premature institutional placement of a frail elderly person, and reduces feelings of social isolation, depression, and overwhelming exhaustion for the caregiver. Caregiver respite service, specifically, we want to target family caregivers who provide care for individuals with Alzheimer's disease or related disorder with neurological or organic brain dysfunction. Care recipients often have trouble with activities of ADLs and need assistance, including verbal reminding, physical cueing, or supervision due to cognitive or other mental impairment. Care recipients often require supervision due to a decrease in cognitive capacity. The program provides assistance to caregivers regardless of economic status. Our referral process. DFS Senior Service Division referrals will come into our INA unit at City Hall. Those referrals will be processed and categorized, whether they are emergency, regular, or standard referral. They will be forwarded via email and or fax to the selected respondent. The selected respondent will at that time contact the client or the caregiver to initiate, coordinate, and conduct the initial respite assessment. The selected respondent will determine eligibility, amount of services needed, whether it be in-home or institutional, and make all arrangements for the delivery of that services to the client. The respite assessment. In order for an assessment to be conducted by the selected respondent, the client must meet the age, eligibility, and be considered frail. Intake procedures will be established by the selected respondent to include an interview with a staff member, specifically trained and supervised in intake. The caregiver assessment tool must be approved by DFSS and should include the following goals: to determine if respite services are appropriate according to program guidelines, to ensure that there is no abuse or neglect in the environment, to educate the caregiver on public, private programs and services available to both the senior and the informal caregiver. You are to make referrals when appropriate for other DFSS programs and services such as care coordination, including the CCP program, home delivered meals, or legal assistance. Identify any unmet need or gap in the current plan of care. Also, the selected responder is responsible for the approval and arrangement of respite dates that the caregiver has requested. If required, the respite administrator will use a client tracking system to issue in-home authorization or facility-based authorization to appropriate respite selected respondent. Once the senior and the caregiver has been assessed and approved by the selected respondent staff, the caregiver will call directly to the selected respondent to set up their needed time for respite. What are the key activities for in-home respite service? The selected respondent must be able to provide respite service 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including holidays. That's very important. Ensure that the staff have undergone background checks and do not have criminal records. The selected respondent must have written policies and procedures to ensure that all clients' property is treated with care and respect by all staff. And also, they must have access to staff or telephone or computer-based translation services with language skills that reflect the needs of the client's household served. Example, we have Spanish clients, Chinese, Polish, Russian, and many other nationalities. In-home caregiving respite activities may include ADLs, including ambulatory and chore services, monitoring clients' well-being while in the home, including home safety, meal prep, including cooking or shopping, grooming and assisting with bathing, toiletry, dressing, cleaning, and or dentures under specific directions of caregiver, client, or responsible individuals. Bathing may include preparing supplies and monitoring of non-medical personnel care, such as shaving, hair shampooing, and combing, assisting with sponge bathing, standby assisting with tub bath or shower, when seniors are able to enter and exit on them, if they exit the shower or bath area themselves. Other key activities, facility-based respite services, is when the senior client is temporarily placed by the caregiver in an institutional setting, such as a nursing home, supportive living facility, short-term period for respite care to the caregiver. DFS recommends that the caregiver respite selected respondent negotiate a greatly reduced daily rate for any facility-based respite service. For facility-based services, reimbursement will be made up to $175 a day. The selected respondent must be able to provide respite service, again, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including holidays. They also must ensure that staff have undergone background checks, no criminal records. They must also ensure that the facility-based respite sites are licensed by the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services. A list of facility-based respite sites and a copy of the facility license should be submitted with the RFP proposed for package. Have access to staff that will language capabilities that reflect the demographics of the clients and households being served that will be placed in that facility. Facility-based respite activities, again, may include ADLs, activities of daily living, including ambulatory, monitoring senior clients' well-being while in the home, including home safety, meal prep, including cooking or shopping, grooming and assisting with bathing, toiletry, dressing, cleaning teeth, and or dentures under specific direction of the caregiver client. What are our performance measures? How are we going to determine whether or not you all are successfully managing this program? 80% of our clients responding to surveys indicate that the caregiver respite services help to improve the situation for which the client sought services originally. 80% of the clients responding to the survey indicate that they feel less overwhelmed as a caregiver. 80% of clients report that respite services were provided as specified in the care plan. And 80% of the client survey indicate overall satisfaction with the services provided. How are we going to monitor and recognize progress towards the above goals? We're going to use indicators that 100% of emergency referrals are responded to within the designated time frame, and 100% of the clients determined to be eligible to receive respite services. Again, that's the goal of our program, is that we provide the respite services to those that are in need. How are we going to select our vendor for this proposal? The strength of the program proposed. This process is going to be open to all entities, nonprofit, for-profit, faith-based, private and public licensed agencies that can demonstrate experience serving older adults and specifically within the area of providing respite services, able to provide services citywide. The applicant demonstrates a clear understanding of the target population and their needs and challenges. The applicant clearly defines services to be provided directly or through partnerships with other agencies that are appropriate to address the needs of and achieving desired outcomes for the target population. The applicant's proposed program is supported by a strong national or local evidence base and/or aligns with best practices for the relevant field. The applicant has an effective approach to identifying and retaining program participants, including rules and regulations that reduce barriers to participation. The applicant demonstrates evidence of strong past performance against desired outcome goals and performance matrix and/or other notable accomplishments providing services to the target population. If no experience, and I don't want anybody to be discouraged, the applicant should provide a clear rationale for its ability to execute against the program and achieve desired outcomes. The applicant has the relevant staff, systems, and processes needed to collect key participant and performance data and evaluate and manage performance. The applicant should also have experience using data to inform or improve its services or practices. Reasonable cost, budget justification, leverage of funds. The applicant demonstrates reasonable implementation of cost and funding requests relative to its financial and human resources. The proposed budget supports the proposed scope of work plan. Overall, the applicant is fiscally sound, as evidenced by financial history and record of organization, as well as audited financial statements or the equivalent from the current fiscal year. The applicant proposes a reasonable cost per person or per unit given the nature of the service provided and provides justification for that level of funding requested. The applicant should leverage other non-city funds to support total programs and administrative costs, whether it be state, federal, foundation, corporate, individual donations. Deadlines. Applications are due on February 15, 2019 by 12 noon. That's the drop dead deadline, and no other application will be accepted after that deadline or considered. Here are the links to senior Respite RFP registration and technical assistance. On our DFSS webpage, there's a link for your RFP, training documents, and frequently asked questions. See also the alert section on our website. For questions or registration, you can go to e-procurement support at cityofchicago.org. You can also go to e-procurement's technical assistance for delegate agencies, or you can call 312-744-0358. Training materials and documents and videos will be available at the website listed here in the brochure. Application tips. Start early. Register to e-supplier, e-procurement as soon as possible if you are not already a registered vendor. Review RFP narratives and application questions closely. They'll look different this year, and we want you to be well prepared to respond. We want to make sure everybody are fairly evaluated and that we are not necessarily cutting someone off because they didn't answer a question or respond to a question. Carefully review the selection criteria and then use spell check on your posts. Tips of working in procurement. There's a 4,000 character limit, which includes punctuation and spaces. You can submit your application and later amend it up until the due date of February 15th at 12 noon. Avoid the rush and possible miss out by submitting early. Late application will not be accepted. And please make your use of the e-procurement hotline for help at 312-744-0358. Addendums and notifications. Once you submit your application, you'll see this receipt page. Okay. So if you add any addendums or anything to your package, this is your receipt or notification. Any addendums that we add to the package, you'll get this notification that there was some additional addendums added, and then you can go ahead and enter your information from there. Accept it, acknowledge it, and then it'll be attached to your proposal, your previous proposal. Program questions, contact me at ed.junkins@cityofchicago.org, or my telephone number is 312-746-6867. That's for programmatic questions. For any non-programmatic questions that you may have, please contact Julia Talbot at 312-743-1679. Her email is julia.talbot@cityofchicago.org. Pause here. We're going to take a minute to pause. If you have any questions, please type your question into the screen, and we'll Okay, so the first question we have is the up to $160,000 for both the assessment piece and or the cost of the direct respite service, or is there a separate pot of funding to pay for the respite service provided? No, the grant is up to $160,000 total. That's to assess and to manage the program. The second question is, if awarded the grant, can the agency both do the assessment piece and provide the respite service? That is absolutely yes. And that's fact, we're looking for an agency that can do it all, that can do the assessment, manage the program. But we know you all, and when we say manage the program, that means that you have partnerships in place for facilities, for facility-based placement, as well as being able to provide the respite service if it's an in-home basis, or have your partnerships in place. But the person awarded the contract will be expected to manage the program, all components of it. And please, let me remind you that the funding for this, the agency you will have to provide and pay for the elements of this program upfront, and then you'll be reimbursed from the department. You will not get money funded upfront to manage the program. Next question is, of the 165 referrals, how many were for non-English speaking clients? Oh, Tammy, I don't have that exact breakdown for you right now. I can get that information to you. I would need to pull the program reports from the last fiscal year to determine what that is. But what we do know is this program was underutilized, and we are expecting to find an agency, because we know the clients are out there. We know there are seniors out there that are desperate need of respite services. This program in the past was underutilized. And we're trying to reach a broader number of clients and to make sure that these clients are being serviced, so that we can go back in another fiscal year and say, hey, we got a huge need for respite clients, and let's up our funding for this program. So we need an agency that's ready to go to work, hit the ground, and ready to do the work, so we can meet the need of our respite clients, or clients that we know are in Chicago that are in need of respite services. Again, we'd like to thank everybody that's sending the question, and keep typing your questions. So the next question is, are there DFS approved forms, including assessment tools, screening documents, perception of care surveys, etc.? There are no DFS forms, so we are asking if you have a form, if you have an assessment or something too that you want to propose, that you include that as part of your RFP proposal that we'll take a look at, because we want to do what works for agencies. If agencies already have something in place that they have been using in other programs, and we'd like to take a look at that. But we do not have specific programs outlined. How long does the respite last? Next question is, how long does respite last per client? Is it 8 hours, 1 week? So that's up to the client. So you have to schedule the respite hours with the client to determine what their needs are. If they need 1 hour, they need 2 hours, they need 8 hours, they need a weekend, that's something you schedule between you and the client. Next question, if you are a CCP provider, can we promote the respite program to our existing clients? Absolutely. that's what we hope to promote that. So me and my staff will be out there going to CCUs. We'll be traveling around to different agencies, asking, promoting, trying to get the clients out. Again, this program has been underutilized in the past, and we're trying to change that. We know there's a huge need for respite services for our seniors in the city of Chicago, and we're not touching that. So that's what we want. We want an agency that's going to be active. Go out there and find these clients. Let's spend this money so we can show when it's time for the next fiscal year that we need more funding for this program because the need is out there and we're not serving that population. The next question, again, thank you all for these questions. They're great questions. The next question is, who is responsible for marketing the program? Are the agencies respecting the market? So it's going to be a twofold. We will ask the agency to market the program, but we as the department and me as the program manager, we're going to be out there as well, sending information out. We're going to be out speaking. We're going to be out doing presentation, but we also ask the agencies to also do so as well. If you're a CCU, then yeah, ask your case managers to focus in on that when they're doing their comprehensive assessment. But we're going to be a twofold. It won't just be the agency, but we're going to, as a department, we're going to be out there too marketing. Next question: how many providers will be awarded? There's going to be one provider awarded for this contract. So we're looking for agencies that can do it all. We want you to be the managers. We want you to have your partnerships in place. So that's what we're looking for. What is your average payment turnaround time? So it could take up to 60 days, but it could be up to 120 days if you submit your vouchers incorrectly. So that's just the city's payment process. We really don't control that component of it. Next question is, do you have marketing collateral that the agency can use to promote the program? We have some marketing material. We're going to create more that we're going to be able to send out. Again, this program is, I'm taking over this program as a new program manager. So we're going to try to strengthen this program, and that's our goal. So we're going to do marketing material. We're going to pull down marketing material that's already available from the state and other entities, and we're going to put together material that can help you with your marketing. We're not just going to leave you out there with no help and no support. Are there any other questions? You type in, feel free to type it in. We're going to take a brief pause to see if there's any more questions that someone wants to type in. All right, thanks for those questions. We have another question. What's the total amount award? The total amount could be up to $160,000. That's the total amount for this fiscal year. The next question, I think you answered this already, but are you awarding to multiple vendor agencies or only one for the rest of it? Our intention is to award this to one agency. Again, we look for one agency that can manage this program because we think that 160, we don't want to spread it over multiple agencies. We want to be able to have one central agency that can pretty much do it all for us. Are there any specific qualification criteria for the person conducting the eligibility assessment? Can it be a care coordinator or agency field supervisor? So that's a good question. So we expect the staff that will be doing the assessment to have some kind of background in assessing clients to determine what their needs are. We're not going to be overseeing personnel decisions made by private agencies. That's your personnel decision, but we would hope that you would hire someone or select someone for the program that has a background in case management or assessing clients to determine what their needs are. So we leave it up to the agency, but we don't have any specific qualifications, but we just expect that you will have someone that's qualified in that field that can do the job that's necessary. Are there any other questions? I'm going to take another brief pause just to give a chance because it seems like it's flowing now and it seems like everybody's having some questions, but I hope I'm answering everybody's questions as much as possible. And again, even after the webinar concludes, you feel free to contact me for any programmatic question that you may have. So we're going to pause briefly again to give anybody else the opportunity they want to type in any questions they may have. Thank you. Okay, you all. So the next question is, after the money run out, does the awarded provider need to continue to provide services to the client? So in this instance, this is the Respite program, which is a program based on giving release to the client. So once the money run out for the 160 funding, then we will have to stop providing Respite service until the next fiscal year. So I would love for the money to run out. Unfortunately, this program has never run out of the money. The money for this program has never been expended. So we never had an agency that has spent the total amount. That's why the money is $160,000. Again, we wanted to show that this program needs to be funded with more money because the need is out there. So we're looking for that agency that can go out there and help us demonstrate to those that we need to increase the funding for this program for the next fiscal year. So the next question is, the selected agency will bill DFS for the assessment, et cetera, and then the cost of the rest of the service correctly. So you'll bill on a monthly basis, whether it's for the assessment and the rest of the service. That is correct. You submit your bill on a monthly basis to be reimbursed. The next question, if you are in the home respite provider, are you expected to also manage, authorize the facility-based respite service? You are expected to have agreements in place with the facility base that you negotiate a price for. You will be in total charge of that facility that you are sending those clients to if it's a facility base. So again, you should be able to negotiate in partnership with several facilities or a couple of facilities for clients that are requesting facility-based respite services. So the last question is a very good question, and we're going to end on this last question. Sorry it came in late, but that's okay. We're glad you came in at all. Will the PowerPoint be sent to folks after this session? The PowerPoint will be available on the city's website and on the department's website for future review. So you can always log in, take a look at the PowerPoint, and have any questions you may need to have. And it's also be on DFSS webinar and YouTube, DFSS YouTube channel. Again, thank you all for attending this session. We are so excited to see so many agencies logged on, registered. We hope that you all do submit a proposal because we do want to select the best agency that can go out, help us present this program to the citywide, help us extend these funds so that we can show the great needs that we need for our seniors in the city of Chicago in the area of respite services. Again, I am overjoyed and thankful that you all signed on, listened, asked some outstanding questions. I look forward to seeing you all's proposal. Remember, the deadline for the proposal is February 19th at 12 noon. Please get them in because we want to award the best agency that can go out and help us make this program what it needs to be. Again, thank you. My name is Ed Junkins. We look forward to you all. Have a great day.